Nokia hypes their super fixable phone. I haven't gotten a chance to have a look at this yet, but Pocket Lint has an article about this. Let's go have a look. It's pretty low spec. Like, I think describing it as entry level is definitely accurate.
I will say, though, that we're in an era of phones where I don't think that's actually going to bother that many people. It's pretty low spec. I just saw it. Okay. I was hoping for a little more than that.
Buddy immediately backtracks.
I got down to the display and hardware section. I was just like, ooh.
Recycled plastic rear, IP52 protection. Let's talk about the specs a little bit.
6.5 inch, 1600 by 720 pixels, 90 hertz refresh rate.
You know what? Is that a longer conversation here? Would you rather have 1080p at 60 hertz or 720p at 90?
With how I currently use my phone, honestly, 720 at 90.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Because it's almost all like text communication. It doesn't need to be. I don't care.
Yeah. But it's not sharp. Like 720, the difference between 720p and 1080 is a lot bigger than the difference between 1080 and 1440.
This is going to be a first world problem. I haven't experienced 720 on a phone in a hot minute.
Yeah, it's...
So maybe I don't know.
Not great.
Yeah.
But then 90 hertz really does make things feel more responsive, even when you're dealing with slower hardware.
Usually, text communication on my phone, I'm just trying to go fast. Like,
yeah, and it feels better when you're typing. That's a tough one. Anyway, sorry, you were telling the specs.
Unit SoC T606, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 or 128 gigs of storage, plus a micro SD slot. Thank you.
What the heck is a T606? I'm looking this up. Tiger T606 processor, entry-level octa-core SoC with 2 ARM A75s at up to 1.6 gigahertz.
Blazing speeds.
And 6 efficient A55 cores at up to 1.6. That is not a fast chip.
Nope.
Okay, carry on.
5,050 milliamp hour battery.
That's a big battery. This thing will last for like 3 days on battery, though.
20 watts charging.
Okay, that's fine. It will take a while to charge that big battery at 20 watts, though.
I don't really mind that. If it's a huge battery, it takes long to charge. I feel like it might just extend the life of it because you're going to sit there with it plugged in 100% less often.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
With my usage, I wouldn't mind that, personally.
I'm trying to find any sort of...
We deserve a poll. You deserve nothing.
I'm trying to find any insight into what exactly makes it repairable. So some of the ease of repair apparently... Here we go. A new battery and all the tools... Okay, I'm just going to read the thing. So iFixit is partnering with Nokia on the creation of the G22, this phone that is aiming for a price of $170, which is a lot more reasonable for the spec and compared to some of the other more open and repair-oriented phones that we've seen in the past. It's designed to be easy to use and inexpensive to repair, and iFixit will sell repair kits for the battery, display, rear panel, and the USB-C module, which are 4 of the most common components to break in typical use. And they will sell them for at least 5 years. That's super cool. But will it get software updates for 5 years? A new battery and all the tools to replace it will cost you $30, and it should take about 10 to 15 minutes for a typical user to complete the repair. The most expensive part is apparently the touchscreen at $55. By the time you're spending $55 on a touchscreen, couldn't it be $65 and be 1080p? I gotta kind of wonder about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of the ease of repair comes from the fact that this is an inexpensive phone with inexpensive parts, and that ease of disassembly has a direct trade-off with modern waterproofing measures. However, Nokia has genuinely eliminated several barriers to removing the back of the device, and it retains its IP52 waterproof rating even after the back has been replaced. So IP52 is not watertight, but it can take the odd accidental spray of water. They're only providing 3 years of security and operating system updates. So even though you can get parts for 5, it's 3 years. And I got to imagine that 3 years is from launch, not from when you buy it. So not from when they stop selling it. Man, I'd love to see an actual compelling repairable phone. Because on the one hand, I want to look at this and go, progress! But on the other hand, I'm looking at it going, this is like a half measure, right?
Yeah.
This is like coming out and being like, No, but yeah, we made a repairable phone and nobody wanted it. So clearly the market has chosen non-repairable phones. No, the market chose the only options that it actually has. And I don't know that for a lot of people, this is a truly viable option.
What minimum spec would it need to be for you to think it would be a viable option?
Man, I would have said something like Note 9, but I've been using it lately just to listen to music when I'm riding on my bike. And it's pretty slow. It's slowed down. I'd say
there's some arguments that people might make about planned obsolescence stuff that doesn't have to do with the actual speeds and feeds of the device, but more has to do with like different certain updates that might actually intentionally slow it down from the manufacturer side.
Ars Technica apparently ripped into it. It's 39 steps to replace the screen. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, that doesn't need to be the case. Why doesn't it just use screws? You need to hold the back panel on. Like, why does everything need to be clips and clips and glue? And I don't remember what your question was. I'm sorry.
What would the...
Oh, right. I would say if it's 3-year-old flagship tier performance, I would consider that to be more than acceptable. But I feel like phones, like computers, have gotten to the point where the improvements generation over generation are not that big anymore, meaning that you can use 3-year-old hardware, really, really easily and have a really great experience with it. But also B, it means that the value of that 3-year-old hardware isn't dropping the way it used to.
Yeah.
Like, you look at the way PC hardware is plummeting right now, generation over generation, in terms of price. Like, you can get Ryzen 2000 stuff on eBay for like nothing. Ryzen 3000, very reasonable. For a long time there, when Intel was releasing quad core after quad core after quad core, the 7700K comes out and 4770Ks are like $10 cheaper on eBay. 3770Ks are maybe $25 cheaper on eBay. And I feel like we're seeing that with phones, right? Like, they're not dropping in value quite as fast within the software update period, because that's a different kind of obsolescence.
I basically didn't even realize how old my phone was.
Yeah.
I only thought about it recently, but it doesn't affect me. The battery is still in okay enough state that it lasts a day. So I just charge it at night, whatever. It's not the most efficient way because it hits 100% and sits there for a bit and stuff like that. But it's old. I'm not that worried about it at this point. Stuff like that. But it's fine. Yeah, I have some problems. It had a lot more problems when I first got it, but it received software updates and it fixed a lot of those problems. And now it's just I don't know. I used Slack, Teams, and Discord. That's 90% of what I'm doing on it. The rest of it is reading news or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be super powerful for my use case. Sure, maybe some other people are doing more complicated things with phones, but not me, so I don't really care that much. But I do get really frustrated the second it slows down, because I'm very often trying to do quick tasks. Send someone a message, reply to something really quick.
Yep.
And if it chugs while doing that, I do get frustrated. So there is a minimum level of performance that I want it to be.
I doubt that this would be
and
satisfactory
I think this is
for me.
too low. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.